Can you sing along the 5 Pusha T records right now? His records. Yes. His records. Yeah. Name Pusher. Nostalgia. Oh, he was a Pusha T fan. He's like one. I didn't know he had fans like that. Can you name 5 Pushing T records? No. Pushing T. I love your soul, my dog. You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that, but you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like I didn't never want to be like Pusher. I never had a Pusher moment in my life. I never thought like you dig? Like where I'm from, __. Want to be like you if he was really that dude. Jim Jones messed with the wrong names. Nas and Pusha T, 2 certified legends. And he didn't just throw shade, he lit the whole bridge on fire. Back-to-back disrespect like he had nothing left to lose. Now his career's hanging on by a thread, and people are acting like it's already snipped. All it took was one wild podcast moment to flip the culture against him. He said Nas was never really that impactful. He called Pusha T overrated. He even bragged that he made Nas go viral again. And that's when some folks started saying Jim crossed a line he might never recover from because what followed didn't feel like normal rap beef. It felt like the culture was already plotting his exit. Now, people are asking, was this just another ego-fueled meltdown? Or is the very culture Jim once helped build now pushing him out the frame? That one quote, yeah, it's still flying all over social media. Then his Summer Jam set got chopped. And Pusha, he's just getting started. Let's take it back and break down what really sparked this slow-motion takedown. That sentence wasn't just disrespect. It was straight up a razor. Jim didn't critique Nas's recent work. He tried to wipe away everything the man ever built. And where did he drop this bomb? On the Joe and Jada podcast, a show known for light talk, not career body bags. But instead of walking it back, Jim doubled down like he was proud of it. Said Nas never meant much to the culture and even flexed like his Billboard stats could rival or beat Nas's legacy. Let's get one thing straight. Nas isn't just some rapper. He's a pillar of hip-hop. Illmatic is literally studied in college classes. Ether still haunts veteran rappers in their sleep. And King's disease that proved he's not fading, he's evolving. Meanwhile, Jim's out here talking like he just dropped the Chronic. And people weren't buying it. What made it worse? This wasn't even about rap skills. It was pure ego, insecurity, dressed up as an opinion. And then he dragged his kid into the mix. Like really, what kind of message is that sending? The internet didn't waste a second. They came hard. Fans started posting receipts. Award after award, sold-out shows, back-to-back classic albums, all Nas. Meanwhile, Jim's chart history looking shaky next to it. And after all that online heat, most folks would have backtracked, maybe apologized, or at least chilled out. Not Jim. He jumped on Nightcap, stared straight at Shannon Sharp, and tripled down. Said Nas never had the influence people think he did. Then he pushed it even further, saying Nas was always in second place. But hold up, second to who? Jay-Z and DMX, come on now. Those 3 weren't even in the same lane. Nas brought soul, reflection, and poetry. Jay was all business and power moves. DMX was raw chaos and pain. Comparing them is like putting Kendrick and Future in the same box. Totally different animals. Different missions, different styles. But saying Nas never led the pack. That ain't an opinion. That's straight up rewriting history. And here's the kicker. Jim doesn't even pretend he wasn't a fan. He admitted that as a teen, he looked up to Nas, wanted to dress like him. Now he's trying to downplay a 30-year legacy over a movie clip from 1998. That's where it starts sounding delusional. At this point, it's not about numbers or opinions anymore. Jim's talking like he needs Nas to be beneath him, and he's salty that the facts just don't support it. This was never just about bars. It was about positioning. Jim wanted to prove he belonged in the same room as the greats, but instead he exposed how much it eats at him that nobody puts him in that conversation. And if you thought Jim was going to calm down, nope. He went on Bag Fuel and dropped one of the wildest takes yet. He didn't just say Nas wasn't relevant. He didn't just say Nas was always second best. Nah, Jim took it even further. He actually claimed he brought Nas back into the spotlight. Like the whole culture needed to thank him for reminding us Nas existed. The internet clapped back fast. One fan hit the nail on the head. The reason you're being talked about is because you're making stupid comments about Nas. That's the only reason people are interviewing you for the clicks. Jim still didn't leave no real impact. One fan said it plain. The amount of delusional disrespect from Jim Jones towards Nas is getting out of hand. I'm sick of it. And they weren't alone. Folks were done with the nonsense. You don't earn any stripes talking wild like that. And when you line up the receipts, the math just ain't math. Nas has been active. 3 full albums in the past 5 years, a Grammy win, and packed out shows all over the place. He's been working. Meanwhile, Jim, he's been running his mouth on podcasts. He thought he was setting a trend, but all he really did was kick off his own slow-motion career funeral. Now, first time in over a decade, the energy shifted. You could feel in the room. Even Jay-Z was locked in vibing. That wasn't just slick talk. That was war, right in the middle of the most high-profile fashion event of the year. And the lyrics, oh, they spoke volumes. Everybody knew exactly who Pusha was aiming at. That chasing a feature out of your element line, direct hit at Jim Jones linking up with Drake right after Drake brought him on stage in Harlem and dubbed him an honorary Dipit member. The same Drake that Pusha obliterated in the story of Adidon. And let's be real, Drake's image still hasn't fully bounced back from that. But this wasn't Pusha dropping a quick disc on SoundCloud. Nah, this was chess, not checkers. He turned Paris Fashion Week into his battlefield. That's the level he's playing on now. While Jim was talking messy on Breakfast Club, Rap Caviar, and Drink Champs, calling Pusha not even top 50, Pusha didn't even flinch. He didn't stoop down to the podcast chaos. Instead, he brought out billionaires, luxury brands, and rap royalty to witness his clapback in real time. And let's talk about the layers. This wasn't just about the lyrics. It was about the moment. Do you like the new song? No. But you don't like Ace Trumpets. What? What's so great about it's so good? It's good. It's so man. It's good. So, yeah, there's something going on that you ain't telling us about, bro. It's good. And what a nostalgic value of it. You don't think Ace Trumpet is I don't believe it. I don't believe them. Oh, but that's a whole another story. I don't want to downplay nobody's craft for their music. I want everybody and things like that, but I don't listen to their music. I never produced the track. The same fell who helped define Clips's entire sound. He's got deep ties in Virginia and the highest circles in fashion. That new track, Chains and Whips, was reportedly made inside Louis Vuitton's Paris HQ overlooking the Sun River. Pharrell even told the New York Times in an interview, pointing out the exact window that was made in this room. We just started walking around looking out this window, and you just see all of this. I mean, we beating this system, bro. That's how deep this went. Revenge, fashion, legacy, all wrapped into one stylish hit. While Pusha was making power moves in Paris, Nas was quietly building an empire right in Queens. While Jim was out chasing Blog Cloud, Nas was launching Resorts World Queens, a massive 350,000-foot casino backed by a $5 billion vision. This ain't just some quick collab. This is real estate equity and generational wealth for his whole borough. Meanwhile, Jim out here bragging about Summer Jam bookings like it's still 2008. Nas didn't have to spit a single bar. He dropped receipts. And those hits, they landed way harder than any diss track ever could. The fans saw the difference immediately. The comments under Nas's post were savage. One said, someone else that can't stop yapping is worried about going viral. Nas out here making boss moves. That's the thing. When you're really rich, really respected, and still very relevant, you don't need to clap back. You let your lifestyle speak. And Jim, he got booed off the stage. Let's set the scene. Summer Jam 2024. Jim finally got the spotlight he'd been chasing all year. But the second he touched that mic, silence. Then it got even worse. Funkmaster Flex, one of Jim's biggest supporters, cut his set short. And you could see it hit Jim in real time. And this was supposed to be his comeback moment. But all that energy he built up around this beef, it didn't land. Because at the end of the day, Jim didn't bring the hits. He brought drama. And somehow, even after all that, Jim still wasn't finished. He had one more disc ready to go. And this time it got personal. After the Louis Vuitton moment, Pusha didn't have to say much, but behind the scenes, words started spreading fast. He wasn't done. Not even close. Sources close to Clips say Their upcoming reunion album is stacked with surgical bars aimed directly at Jim. That Paris track, that was just the warm-up. What's coming next is darker, sharper, and way more brutal. Some insiders are even calling this Pusha's Coke Bear moment because he's fully embracing the villain role. No more playing it safe. And if Jim keeps running his mouth, it's looking like lyrical murder is on the way. And it's not just about bars. It's about the whole setup. Pusha is staging his return in luxury spaces, rubbing shoulders with billionaires while Jim's still rapping in Harlem alleyways over the same beat he just got buried on. Yep, you read that right. Jim actually flipped the chains and Whip's instrumental and dropped his own freestyle as a response, but then he pushed it too far. He brought up no malice, and that was a mistake. Pusha might take the jabs, but bringing up his brother, a man who stepped away from rap to follow his faith and change his life, that wasn't just a diss, that was disrespect. Pusha hasn't clapped back publicly yet, but if we've learned anything, it's that he doesn't strike fast. He strikes strategically, and when he does, it's devastating. Then Jim made his biggest mistake. He dissed Clips, his brand new single, on camera during an interview. One final swing at chains and whips, trying to play it off cool, but that move might have just sealed the deal. And just when you thought Jim had finally said enough, he kept going. In another interview clip that started making rounds, Jim doubled down again. This time tossing shade not just at Pusha or No Malice, but at the entire Clips legacy. He called their style dated, said their subject matter don't hit like it used to, and even questioned why anyone's still hyped about a Clips comeback in the first place. But here's the catch. While Jim's out here trying to discredit legends, Clips is being invited into luxury spaces by the same industry titans that once overlooked them. And the people paying attention, they see the shift. Because in 2025, it's not just about going viral. It's about relevance with respect. And that's exactly where Jim's falling behind. Push has been quiet publicly, but the silence feels heavy, like something's loading. Clips fans are already buzzing that the next drop is going to be nuclear. Behind the scenes, producers, stylists, and execs are treating this next Clips rollout like an art exhibit. Strategic visuals, luxury branding, even whispers of a documentary. Meanwhile, Jim's strategy is looking shaky. After the freestyle flop, the Summer Jam cold shoulder, and the constant backlash in the comments, even his day ones are starting to question the moves. The hype he tried to build, it's turning into exhaustion. People aren't entertained. They're embarrassed for him. And now the pressure's on. Because once Clips finally drops that album, and if it hits as hard as insiders claim, it's not just going to bury the beef, it might just bury Jim's credibility with it. At this point, Jim's not battling rap giants. He's battling his own relevance and losing fast. Jim tried to play it cool. Said he never even listened to Clips, but that fake chill, it cracked. The insecurity was leaking through every sentence because deep down he knows he was the target and he got bodied. No spins, no excuses. They cooked him. And here's where the whole energy shifts. It's not just Nas and Pusha anymore. It's the culture turning its back. Blogs are dragging him daily. Even diehard Dipset fans are throwing in the towel, saying it's time for Jim to log off. This wasn't a beef. It was a reality check. Jim Jones stepped into the ring thinking he was ready to spar with legends. But instead of bars, he got humbled by silence, strategic moves, and billionaire plays. And now he's not trending. He's not charting. He's not getting playlists. He's becoming a ghost in the very game he helped shape. And here's the wildest part. The new Clips album hasn't even dropped yet. That might be the final nail in the coffin. The real funeral. If you made it this far, drop a comment and tell us. Do you think Jim can recover from this, or is it game over? Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's next.